Good evening, grave robbers. Welcome back to the television graveyard. We are your TV necromancers, Laura Prince and Noah Houlihan. We have come here tonight to examine the spirits of past television shows to find out which ones could be resurrected, should be resurrected, and which ones should just stay doomed. This is a podcast in which we will analyze the history, the hype, and the aftermath of shows that ran only one season or only one episode. With me as always is TV's Noah Houlihan.
Hi.
So, it is August 7th,
Yes.
2025.
Yes, indeed.
We go up Thursdays.
Yes, we go up Thursdays.
So it is August 7th, 2025, which means that we are at 7 years of Stay Doomed.
This is the 7-year anniversary of this podcast.
And I found that very interesting. We were discussing what to do this week, and we kept coming back to, wow, we've really been doing this for 7 years.
Yeah, it's surprising that we've done it this long. Many podcasts don't do this many episodes.
No, the fact that we are at roughly 254, 255 episodes and climbing is unusual.
I think there's only 252, actually, but I could be wrong.
Writers can't do math. And I find it interesting that we've managed to do this for 7 years with very few skipped episodes. Yeah, you're right. This is 252. I always forget about things like the adventures being
Yes.
Weird Al was a listed episode.
Yes. Some of the things we do are not considered episodes of Stay Doomed. The tune-out episodes were not considered episodes of Stay Doomed.
Which means we had like 6 months of episodes that did not count as Stay Doomed episodes.
Oh, yeah.
So we should, logically, and if we counted adventures and a lot of the weird little offshoots, we are probably at like 325 episodes, roughly.
Something like that, yeah.
Especially because we do have at least one planned hiatus a year.
True.
It's moved to fall. It's kind of slid around. It's generally based on need.
Yes.
So it's generally based on what we need, because we usually do need a planned hiatus. I know we took one last summer because we had the electricity issue in State
Yes,
Studios.
exactly.
And that was based on need. We
Like, this is when the hiatus is happening.
we could not record usable audio.
So we wanted to celebrate 7 years of doing this. This is not the end of season 7.
No.
Because we always end with a post-mortem where we look back at the past season of Stay Doomed. And then we take the hiatus. So the hiatus is not next week or next month or whatever. But we want to do something for 7 years of Stay Doomed. And Laura kind of pitched this idea of the podcasts that never were.
Yes.
And kind of taking a look at the things in the podcasting space that we, as the hosts of Stay Doomed, were planning to do at some point that just never happened.
Yes, we landed on Stay Doomed after a lot of different ideas and conversations. We also only intended for Stay Doomed to run a year.
Yes.
Originally. Which is pretty well known.
Yes, that's something.
That's not really something we're dropping in 6 years later. We had only really planned to run from August 2018 to July 2019.
Yes.
We were going to run one season.
Yeah, that was kind of our joke.
Luke Tipple had other ideas.
Yes, our friend of the show, Emily, heavily suggested we do Opposite Worlds. And that's the show that kind of reignited us.
And friends of the show, Danny and Dave, forced us to watch the Jenny Nicholson video.
Oh, yes.
Where she discusses Opposite Worlds, which really also then sold us really hard on the idea.
So that was kind of the thing that reinvigorated the mission to look through these one-season wonders. And as a result, there was a bunch of things on the drawing board that we were considering doing.
Yes.
So we thought we would look back at the shows that never were, the uncreated, actually some of these are partially created because there are some pilots that we created that are floating around that we can talk about, but the doomed podcasts of Stay Doomed.
So something I found very interesting is I got fairly into pre-production for a show called Please Talk to Your Kids About Podcast.
Yes, this was probably the most likely contender because Stay Doomed kind of was birthed after the death of the Plus Two comedy podcast, and I wanted to do another podcast, and I wanted it to be more Laura centric.
Yeah.
I wanted it to be more of a Laura podcast, and
we
got very deep into this idea of Talk to Your Kids About Podcast, which was what, Laura?
So it was essentially about very special episodes. And we wanted to do deep dives about very special episodes. This wasn't just making fun of them. Similar to Stay Doomed, this wasn't really intended to be snarky.
Yeah.
This was intended to look at why an episode happened. So a very common thing in very special episodes is that they never, ever, ever come back.
Right.
So I wanted to talk about that. I wanted to talk about what the issue was. Why was this issue important to bring up? Because there are things that we got very special episodes about in the 80s and the 90s that really are not things we get very special episodes. For instance, I don't remember the last time I saw an episode of children's television against the dangers of playing in a junkyard and getting trapped in a fridge.
Yes, that was a
Punky Brewster
episode. I remember that also being a PSA for G.I. Joe.
Ollie, action free! Hey, where's John?
What's all the excitement?
Wakanda! We can't find John. He was heading that way.
Oh no. Check that old refrigerator.
Thanks, Wakanda.
Remember, never get in anything that could close up and trap you.
Like an old trunk or an abandoned refrigerator. Now we know.
And knowing is half the battle.
G.I. Joe!
Yeah, this was something that we were just pretty much made to believe was going to be something terrible that happened to us all the time.
Yeah.
I thought there was a very interesting... This is the one where I think we got the furthest with the idea.
Well, do you have the list of episodes we were going to do?
I do.
Can I try to remember which ones we discussed?
Sure, I only have 17 episodes here.
Okay, because the first one that I want to bring up is I'm pretty sure we considered for a special episode doing Cartoon All-Stars to the Rescue, which we eventually do on Stay Doomed.
No, that is not on here.
Okay. Then there's also Buffy Beer Bad.
Yes, that is on here.
Because once we did the Simpsons episode for episode 250, Beer Bad was like the second episode I thought of to be like a doomed episode.
Yes.
People hate that. And then the Full House child abuse episode.
Yes, that is on here.
And the Saved by the Bell, I'm so excited, probably.
That's not on here, but that was not going to be done season 1, I think. We decided not to do that one early.
Because it was too silly.
We actually had a very interesting list here.
All right, go ahead, hit me with the list. What ones were we going to do?
So, this podcast was going to have a guest.
Oh, I don't remember that part
Yes,
of it.
I had actually gotten so far as to start discussing it with potential people.
Oh, okay.
Immersive theater queen Shelley Snyder of the United Kingdom was going to do Earshot and Beer Bad.
Oh yeah, Earshot. I forgot about that. That was a Buffy episode about a school shooting that got pulled.
Yes. It was not about a school shooting.
It was not, but it had a moment.
It shows a student going to a clock tower with a gun.
Yes, Jonathan.
and essentially teases the idea of that, but really he is going up to commit suicide.
Yes.
The thing that doesn't make any sense is that he is not carrying the type of gun that you could feasibly use for that.
Right.
He is carrying the type of gun you would feasibly use to snipe people from the clock tower.
From a clock tower, yeah.
So that was something that was something that we were planning to do. We had a pretty diverse group of episodes with causes. We didn't want to do too many drug episodes or
Yes.
too many child.
I remember having that discussion where it's like, man, these are all drug episodes.
Bash at the Beach, which was a Baywatch episode.
Okay.
This was an interesting episode because the PSA was skin cancer.
Huh.
A character finds out she has melanoma.
Okay.
But it's called Bash at the Beach because Hulk Hogan, Randy Macho Man Savage, Ric Flair, and Big Van Vader all appear in the episode.
Hilarious.
So I think there was a non-zero chance I put this in there
For me.
as... because it had such an interesting balance of being a PSA, like a very special episode, and then also just being, like, doofy.
Yes.
So, I thought that was really interesting to do. I thought that was something that would be kind of a dual-wielding thing. Arnold's Christmas Story.
Oh, yes.
The Hey Arnold episode, and we did have things in pairs. So, whoever we had on, we were going to record 2 episodes.
Yeah.
This was also with Helga on the Couch from Hey Arnold.
Well, the Christmas episode is about Mr. Wynn.
Mr. Wynn's daughter.
Right.
Who he had to give to American soldiers during the fall of Saigon.
Yes.
And he eventually makes his way to America, but he is unable to find Mai.
Right.
And Helga really, like, commits a sacrifice and a huge good deed to reunite 2 people who were kind of strangers to her. Mm-hmm. To give Arnold a Merry Christmas.
Right.
And the other episode is Helga on the Couch, which is Helga in therapy.
Mm-hmm.
Where we really delve into Helga's psyche and Helga's familial issues. Mm-hmm. We had a off-mic conversation about this very recently.
Yeah.
About
we
how
talk about Hey Arnold pretty often.
Helga Pataki is one of the best children's cartoon characters as far as being fleshed out and fascinating, and it's not close.
Yeah.
Then we had 2 together, Doug's Christmas Story, which is an episode I hate.
I don't remember Doug's Christmas Story.
It's when Porkchop
it's going to get put down?
He's going to get put down because he saves BB Bluff from falling through the ice, but it looks like he bites her.
Right.
And then Doug's chubby buddy from brand spanking new Doug.
This is where Patty stops eating.
Yes, this was an eating disorder episode.
Yes, I do remember that one.
Because this is... Eating disorders are perennial episodes, because that is one of those PSAs that every generation of children and teens discover anew.
Yeah.
Full House also does one. We were trying to not do an entire season of Full House.
Yeah, it's very easy to just have done Full House. Because to the point that those weren't special episodes. That's just what Full House was.
What's fun is I do have to Google about half of these to remember what they were.
Yeah.
But I do remember the 2 Glee ones. We were going to do both the school shooting episode of Glee, because we were using it as an incredibly poorly handled PSA.
Right.
And the quarterback, which was a much better... I feel like this is a strange thing to call a very special episode. But we wanted to be intentionally diverse with what that meant to try to make the show not the same week to week.
Well, I think... Because that was one of the things that we were having trouble with when we were, like, designing this podcast. Is... Because I remember kind of saying something like, it's only a special episode if there was, like, a text thing beforehand was something I was saying, or if there was a commercial saying on a very special.
Yeah.
So we could have done all of Clone High.
You did pitch that repeatedly.
Did I?
Yes.
Well, it's a new joke to our audience, so there. I know that one thing that, like, scared us away from doing this is we discovered that there was something that already existed called a very special podcast.
Yes.
Which basically was the same show. Different hosts, different ideas, but same concept of covering very special episodes.
The next one I'm gonna drop is one we actually did for Stay Doomed.
Oh, really?
Deadly Force.
Oh, yes.
We did it for banned episodes in 2020.
Yes. I think that was also why we thought of doing banned episodes was because of that list and being like, oh, this was banned. Maybe we could do banned episodes.
And then we were going to do another Gargoyles episode because we were doing shows in kind of like pairs by either series or genre because we had this idea that we were going to record 2 at a time. And there was one where Hudson, the best character, was illiterate. And it was going to be a PSA about, like, late in life illiteracy and learning to read later in life. Mm-hmm. And that kind of, like, delicate situation. And I was interested in that because it was something we didn't see as often.
Right.
And we didn't want to do another Hey Arnold episode.
Right.
Because Oscar Kokoschka also has an episode about that. What made me think about this is I was for some reason researching Nicktoons again. Not for anything. For literally no reason.
Yeah, because just sometimes that's what Laura does.
And one of the ones on the list is And She Was Gone. From As Told by Ginger. Did you watch As Told by Ginger?
No, I did not watch As Told by Ginger.
We were on the tail end of childhood when As Told by Ginger.
Yeah.
I think I watched considerably more of it because it was also aimed at slightly older girls.
Right.
Than a lot of the rest of the Nicktoons at the time.
Right.
Ginger, and this one hit home for me because this was very similar to, like, my child writing career. Ginger writes a poem, and people mistake it for her having suicidal ideation.
Oh, interesting.
And how people treat her, and including, like, the adults in her life, despite her insistence that she... Whereas, yes, all writing comes from you, this was fiction.
Yeah.
And how it is treated as a cry for help, and you can't really blame anyone for treating it as a cry for help because you don't want to have ignored that. But the writer being like, I'm fine, guys. I won the contest.
That sounds like an early version of what would become that MTV show Awkward.
Yeah.
About the girl who, like, breaks her arm accidentally, but it looks like an unaliving attempt.
Yes.
And that was ran, like, 4 seasons.
Yeah, like, this isn't really played for comedy, which is what I thought was interesting.
Right.
It's played very seriously. And I really found myself thinking about this. Because it treated their viewers maturely.
Right.
It treated them as people who deserved to know. We also tied that with Inherit the Wheeze from Pinky and the Brain.
Inherit the Wheeze?
It was the smoking PSA episode. They made, like, an actual, like, PSA about not smoking.
Really? I don't remember that. I was a huge Pinky and the Brain fan.
I'm wondering, because I hadn't watched it in a while. I do legitimately wonder how heavy-handed it was, or whether it's something that could have gone over your head.
Maybe.
Another Christmas episode, which was called So-Called Angels, from a show we have discussed on the show and discussed doing, called My So-Called Life.
Right.
And this was about youth homelessness.
Interesting.
Edith's Crisis of Faith, which was a huge one. It's a very early, very special episode from All in the Family. Edith's Crisis of Faith is one where Beverly, who is Edith's friend, who is they call her a female impersonator because they didn't know the words for that. But she is living as a trans woman in 1977.
Oh, wow.
And she dies as the result of a hate crime.
Damn, All in the Family.
Did you watch All in the Family growing up?
No.
Oh. All in the Family has a few.
Okay.
All in the Family has some really serious episodes in with being... I think All in the Family had a lot of value and honestly would still have a lot of value if someone could figure out how to make it in the 2020s.
Yeah.
I do not believe I would have the ability to make that show, but I think it is a show that had and has value.
Yes.
So, Edith has a crisis of faith as a result of losing her friend and wondering, like, why a just and merciful God would allow something like this.
Right.
And I think it is an incredible show to really sit with when you consider that it's so... I don't like using the term ahead of its time, but it is very much ahead of the time.
Yeah.
And it only...
I think that's a good phrase for what's happening.
I have two more.
Okay.
Gang violence from Roundhouse.
From Roundhouse?
Yes.
Because the gang violence one I was thinking was from Hanging with Mr. Cooper.
I don't recall that one.
Yeah, I remember there was a gang episode of Hanging with Mr. Cooper where, like, there's, like, gang violence at the school, and then it kind of, like, gets squashed, and, like, one of the kids is like, oh, thank God, I was really worried, and he wipes his forehead with a handkerchief, and the guy's like, why are you throwing green in my face if we just, bury the hatchet? He's like, it's just a handkerchief, and then he pulls a gun on him. That one stayed with me as a child.
The one that stays with me that was of a similar, was about gun violence was, there was a Fresh Prince episode.
Yes.
Where Carlton and Will are held up at an ATM.
Yes.
And Carlton acquires a gun.
Yes, yes.
And I think about that one a lot, because I had it on in the background. And then that happens.
What happens?
Like, you see them get held up at the ATM, and then you see, like, a weird close-up shot at the gun.
Yeah.
Let's have the money. Come on, come on! All right, hey, it's cool, dude. Carlton, give him the money. Hey, look, that's all we got, man. That's it.
I got some more in my wallet.
Take your hands out of your pockets! Take your hands out of your pockets!
It is 3 a.m. when I watch this. It scared the crap out of me.
Yeah.
Because one of my least favorite things is when a show goes, like, in a completely different direction late at night than I'm expecting it to.
Right.
And I hated that so much.
So, in the end, we decided not to pursue this. Like I said, because we found another podcast like that. We were afraid this would get a little bit repetitive.
Yes.
And we were really not sure what did and did not qualify as a special episode. So, we went back to the drawing board, and I know another idea that we threw around for a while before settling on Stay Doomed was Will It Christmas?
Will It Christmas?
So 7 years ago, the internet's favorite thing to argue about was, is Die Hard a Christmas movie?
Yes.
So we were going to take these kind of like questionable Christmas movies, dissect them, and then decide whether or not it Christmased.
Yeah.
Because I remember on the list was, of course, Die Hard. Gremlins was on the list. Iron Man 3 was something we had discussed.
Batman Returns.
Batman Returns was a big one.
Batman Returns was the one that kind of started this, because I had decided I was going to start beating the drum that Batman Returns was a Christmas movie every time somebody brought up Die Hard.
Right.
I believe we were coming down on I was generally going to be on the everything is a Christmas movie side.
Yeah, and like so was I, because I was just like, I think during the time that we were discussing this idea, we were so over the argument happening.
Yes.
So we just kind of wanted to be like, all right, shut up, fine, everything's a Christmas movie. And basically during that time of the debate where whether or not Die Hard was a Christmas movie, like, it was just a thing that people would say to kind of be like, look how different I am. My favorite Christmas movie's Die Hard.
Yeah, it was kind
We
of
just
like...
it got old very quickly.
Yeah, it was almost like a pick-me kind of thing to do.
Mm-hmm.
I know that's usually a gendered term, but I just mean that in general.
Yeah.
Like, guys would say it to sound cool. And, like, I think they're all Christmas movies. How about that?
Yeah.
Like,
Friend of the show, Dave, we had the argument of whether or not a hot dog is a sandwich. And he said, I've taken the chaotic route on that. Just everything's a sandwich. Taco, sure, sandwich. Pizza, yeah, that's a sandwich. Whatever. Just whatever will make you happy enough to stop talking to me. Yeah, it's a sandwich. And that's kind of how I felt about Christmas. This being a Christmas movie eventually. It was just like, yeah, it's a Christmas, yeah. Yeah, it's Christmas.
Like, that's why we spent most of this episode talking about talk to your kids about podcasts, because I think that was the most developed idea.
I mean, I have so many more to talk about.
I know, but I just wanted to say, like, we're not going to get as deep into the rest of them, because Talk to Your Kids About Podcast is the one that I think, like, had the most pre-production. That was the closest to... That was the second closest, I think.
I mean, we have pilots for 3 other podcasts that we actually created. I was going to talk about those because we actually recorded them.
Okay.
But I will say, out of the ones that never actually got a pilot, yes, that Talk to Your Kids About Podcast was the most developed out of those.
Yes.
Of the other ones that we never actually did a pilot for, I think we got to talk about Batman-ish.
Yes, which I remember really pushing to call Gotham Public Works, despite the fact that another fan group was using that, like...
I don't remember you ever pitching that.
Oh, I pushed for it very hard, and then I Googled it, and there's already a group... There is or was a group online called Gotham Public Works.
Oh, okay.
Because I thought it sounded cool. It probably just sounded familiar. I think you see Gotham Public Works in the films, and I think, like, just another group had beaten us to it.
Yeah. But the idea of Batman-ish was we were going to ingest various Batman media and then discuss where it lied on what we view as Batman. Like, we were going to watch Christopher Nolan's Batman versus Adam West Batman versus Schumacher Batman versus Lego Batman
Versus Burton Batman.
And also, like, animated series, Brave and the Bold.
Super Friends.
Super Friends. We wanted all of those. We were also going to look at, like, the Arkham Asylum games. And then,
of course, the comics.
We were going to look at various comics. We were going to see how different, like, writers wrote Batman.
Yeah, like Alan Moore and Frank Miller versus more modern, like Paul Dini.
And then we had a few, like, kind of, like, out there ones we wanted to do. We wanted to do Knight and Squire, which was the British version of Batman. We were going to do, I think we wanted to do Batman Well from The Tick.
Yes.
And we were going to discuss where he hit on the Batman scale.
Batman Well or Deflator Mouse, depending on what version of The Tick you're looking at.
Yeah.
Because I believe Batman Well is the live action and Deflator Mouse is the animated series.
I think that is correct. Also, The Tick could totally be a Stay Doomed twice. There are 2 different one-season The Tick live actions. And we were going to discuss what was the best version of Batman. And I think the main reason that the plug got pulled on that one is it was already getting too contentious. Because, like, before because what I wanted to do was, after we consumed a piece, because I'm not saying watch, because there was stuff we were going to read and play, we would have like a running ranking of like who did the best job of displaying Batman. And we were going to work towards this list. And you had already decided Lego Batman was at the top of the list before we watched or did anything. And you were like, because I'd have a distinct memory of you saying the top of the list is Lego Batman and I'm not discussing it. And I was like, the podcast is going to be a discussion. We were going to have to at least discuss it. But yeah, we wanted to look at like different media and really decide what the essence of true Batman was, which I still think is a fun idea for a podcast. I just think that Batman is so sacred that like we are opening the floodgates for like argument.
Yeah, I like a campier, funnier, weirder Batman. Mm-hmm. And I know that is not terribly popular, comparatively. I think we're overdue for a weird, campy Batman. I think we were watching a lot of Gotham when we were discussing this.
Oh yeah, that was another thing we were going to do. Yeah, we were in the midst of watching Gotham.
Yeah, because I think we had a lot of arguments about Gotham.
Never finished Gotham. Don't know how that ends. I assume Bruce Wayne turns out to be Batman.
We can only do one version of the Tick. The other one ran 2 seasons.
Did it run 2 seasons?
The Amazon one did get a 2nd season.
Oh. With Warburton?
No. I think that's the one that got 1 season. That was the Fox one. This was the cheaper, this is the one where Peter...
Cheaper than the Patrick Warburton one? Because that one looked cheap.
Does this one look expensive to you?
No, that doesn't look expensive either.
No one's out here making high budget The Tick.
Yeah, that's true. That is true. So Batman-esque or Batman-ish was definitely one that we discussed for a while and eventually decided against doing. In terms of things that actually got pilots, let's talk about Quintessential Episode.
Yes, that was a pilot. I forgot that was a pilot.
Yeah, Quintessential Episode was...
a backdoor pilot that we made as a Stay Doomed episode, as I think it was a crowdfund crypt.
I think it was originally a Patreon exclusive, but I love this idea for a concept for a show, where you take a show that is already wildly popular and try to decide what the quintessential episode is. Not the best episode, but simply the episode that if someone wanted to get into this show and know what's great about it, this is the episode you would show. I think a big part of me loving this idea is my alter ego, Scott Holiday, is obsessed with the one wrestling match that you show a non-wrestling fan to turn them into a wrestling fan. I think that is such an interesting question. So the idea of taking a beloved show and being like, okay, what is the episode that may not be the best, but is like, this is what this show is in one contained episode. Because when we did it about Community, and we decided it was the drugs episode.
Yes.
A very special episode of Community, where Pierce plays the marijuana leaf.
Yeah, and then later Chang plays the marijuana.
Yes. And there's this whole thing about, like, peer pressure and, like, drugs changing who you are. Like, it's a very well done episode.
Because I remember that was not, like, we had ended up going around and around on that because we had to make it a more or less quote quote normal episode.
Yes.
Because I remember it was a struggle to lose the paintball episodes.
It was a struggle to lose the paintball episodes. I know the episode that I kind of went into the podcast thinking it would be was the one with Pierce in the hospital. That's a like mock documentary where he bequeaths all the gifts to them, but they're all like horrible.
Yes.
That's the Reading Rainbow episode.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm so sure it's this episode. And you were immediately like, that's a different genre than the rest of the show. Because so much of it is camcord or Abed kind of filming stuff. And I was like, damn.
Yeah, because I remember... I remember, like, we lost a bunch of my favorite episodes in our, like, first eliminations.
Yeah, because I liked the concept of it being, like, we sat down, we both had a list of episodes we thought could, like, absolutely be the quintessential episode. But first thing we did was to try to eliminate stuff. So, like, I think the first thing we say is, like, does the episode need to have Chang in it to be a quintessential episode?
I think we said it had to still be the Greendale 7.
Yes. So
Because I think it had to be before Pierce dies and before Troy leaves.
Yeah.
So we
like,
lost, like, 2 or 3 seasons.
like immediately out the gate. And I think then, like, we're like, do the paintball episodes count? Because I think also one of the rules of it was no 2-parters. Because it had to be a single episode.
Yes.
Which cost us, like, the Western paintball episode.
I think I ousted the paintball episodes.
Yeah.
Because I think I wanted it to not be a hard parody. I think I said it had to be, like, something that did focus more on the characters.
Mm-hmm. I love that as a concept, and, like, it's a show you could do forever, kind of like Stay Doomed, because, like, you can do this same structure of a show with The Simpsons, The Office, Ted Lasso, just anything that's popular, and do this concept, and I really liked it, but it was not popular when we released it. No, I don't remember people saying that they particularly liked it as a concept.
I think it was also a very difficult... Like, there's no planet you can do that weekly.
No, it'd be very hard to do that weekly.
Because it requires you to watch multiple seasons of a show.
Yeah.
Every time you're doing... And we've watched Community over, like, a year.
Yeah.
Because I can think of the shows I know we've watched front to back, and it's not a crazy long list outside of Stay Doomed.
Yeah, I think we could
have run it for a year.
We could have run it through for a year just doing, like, Brooklyn Nine-Nine,
Parks and Rec, 30 Rock, The Office.
Yeah. And then, like, The Well would start to get dry. And then we'd probably hit, like, Hey Arnold and Rugrats and stuff. But I liked it as a concept, but we didn't pursue it after the one pilot. We also did drop the pilot. This is an old podcast for binge watching, which was...
I did not participate in this.
Laura did not participate in this, but you were going to.
Yes.
I forget what show we were going to do with you. That we were going to binge watch all of it.
Based on the time period, my thoughts are How I Met Your Mother.
Okay.
Like, based on the time period in which you were doing this, because we were watching it at that time anyway, or very possibly Community.
Maybe. I think there was also a chance it was Captain Planet. Because this was right around when I suddenly had a DVD of the first season
and we
of
did
Captain Planet.
watch a number of Captain Planet episodes.
Yeah, there was also a brief time where we considered just being a Captain Planet watch-along podcast. Because we watched, like, 3 episodes of Captain Planet, and I was like, this show's insane.
To be fair, that show is, by 2025 standards, absolutely bat poop.
There's part of me that wonders, like, could we go back and just do the Captain Planet watch-along show? Because if you don't know what Captain Planet is, the Planeteers are 5 teenagers? Children? From all over the world.
Yeah, I always assumed they were late high school, early college.
Yes.
Because I think they drive.
Do they drive?
I think
Okay.
they have a car.
They're from all over the
How
planet.
old are the Planeteers? My search history. 1990, thanks. They call them young people.
Yeah. How old is Wheeler from the Planeteers?
If Wheeler has to be at least like 16, God.
Yeah. If you've never seen Captain Planet while Lara's Googling.
Linka is canonically 16, Mati is 12.
Oh my God.
So
these children each have a special ring. They have the power of earth, fire, wind, water, and heart. And when their powers combined, they create Captain Planet. He's a hero. He's going to take pollution down to zero.
The theme song kind of slaps.
Oh, it absolutely
The theme songs for cartoons from like 85 to like 95 did not have to go hard.
Oh, yeah. But they did.
Like the Goosebumps theme. Every time I for some reason hear the Goosebumps theme, I was like, this never had to be this good.
But the Captain Planet theme is very good. And I know we sat down to watch it, and the idea of Captain Planet is he's trying to teach like good environmental lessons. So like the first episode was on like recycling. And like they all had like a G.I. Joe PSA at the end where it was just like, make sure you recycle. The second one was about not buying ivory because ivory kills elephants, which the show was aimed at like second graders, never bought any ivory. The third episode we watched was about overpopulation and not having too many children.
Every 10 years, our planet's population grows by nearly 1 billion people.
Soon there will be more than 6 billion of us sharing Earth's limited resources. So not only do we need to make thoughtful choices about family size, but we must start conserving...
Yeah.
The show was out of its mind.
I believe Wheeler also calls Linka like a commie in like...
Ruski?
Yeah, something. I was like... Wheeler called her something that I was like, whoa, I'm not sure we use that.
At least once an episode because the show was so diverse.
And it was at the very end of the Cold War.
There was definitely a moment in every episode where I was like, whoa, that's a bit much. Anyway, all of that, there's the Captain Planet watch-along pitch that we discussed for a bit. But the binge-watching idea was, it was a watch-along show, but watching entire seasons of television and then getting together to talk about it while eating. Because the pilot exists on the Stay Doomed feed where we watched all of Breaking Bad and ate fried chicken. And just so you know, eating during a podcast is the worst gimmick you could possibly have.
Oh. It
is an absolutely terrible gimmick because that's where the words come from.
Andy Brennan.
I know I did a podcast forever ago called Full Belly Laughs, which was comics making bits and eating food. And I say that on that episode too, where I was like, eating is not good for podcasts.
Yeah, 'cause I know when we were doing Pour One Out, there were times where like we'd have to edit audio because of some audio that had to do with the...
I kept putting ice in my drinks.
Ice in your drinks. I think I made a few cocktails that ended up having, like, highly chewable elements. I remember I blended a piece of cake for, I think, Archie.
I forget why you blended a piece of cake, but you did.
I remember there was, like, a rebelliousness. I was blending a piece of cake and no one was stopping me, and I don't...
But just the idea of, like, weekly, we were going to... I think the idea was it was me and 2 guests every time. Or 3 guests, I think. The idea that I was going to find 3 people every week to consume 100 hours of content.
Yeah.
And then discuss it in 2 hours was a ridiculous idea. This was back in the day when I wanted to create a podcast network that was like multiple podcasts, and I was going to be part of like 3 of them, and then I had other people's podcasts that were going to air. I wanted to be like Earwolf or Nerdist or one of those. And the other one that we actually did produce at least this is probably the one we produced the most of. I think we produced 4 episodes of this, was Keeping the Fabe.
Oh, wow.
Keeping the Fabe, because here's the grand scheme of Keeping the Fave that never happened, and I just want to reveal this somewhere, even though nobody cares. The bit was, in an underground bunker in Arizona, there was a facility where they did tests on people who didn't know wrestling was fake. And everyone on the show was playing a character.
Yes.
I was playing Nick, my buddy Jeff was playing Ryan, and you were playing Dr. Dashwood.
Because we were using the real names of wrestlers as the character
So
names.
it never got revealed because we only did a few episodes of this. It was a watch wrestling review show, but everything was from a kayfabe perspective. In the end, we were all going to be clones of wrestlers.
Yeah, it was...
Because you were to Neil Dashwood, which is Emma. I was
Which tells you when this was.
Yeah, I was Nick Namath, which is Dolph Ziggler. Jeff was Ryan, I forget Ryan, but he was Ryback. And
Ryan Reeves, I believe.
Ryan Reeves, but it was going to be that we were clones of professional wrestlers without the wrestling persona built into them. So I was Nick Namath if he had never seen wrestling before. And this was now his first exposure to it. And there was going to be a whole ARG about... Because, like, the department that was doing these tests was called, like, the SMARC department.
Yes.
And I had Twitter accounts made.
I was the facilitator, like, the arbiter. Because Dr. Dashwood was, like, in on it.
Yeah, because, like, part 1 was supposed to be the discovery from... You discover that we are clones.
Yes.
And then we discover that you were a clone too, and you're part of the test. And there was another company. There was a whole mapped out alternate reality game about this really dumb wrestling podcast I was making. And I think there's a total of 4 episodes of it, because the idea was it was going to come out monthly whenever WWE had a pay-per-view for us to review. Some real fun bits in it, but it was a lot of work for a website that ended up not working.
Yeah.
Because I couldn't get the... to not go too far down the rabbit hole, but the company that I paid to make the Plus 2 Comedy Podcasting Network site, the guy I paid left the company. And when that happened, we lost the password to the website.
Oh.
So, like, this company had access to it because they moved our server from, like, GoDaddy to theirs. But because that guy was gone, there was no access to it. So I had a dead website for, like, years that I couldn't access.
I'm not gonna lie, I did not remember all of the other aspects to it.
Yeah, it was an insane thing I was doing.
I think I was kind of tangential. Like, I think I was Dr. Dashwood, and I don't think I was doing the rest of this.
You were Dr. Dashwood in the first episode. The second episode, you're not in, and I do it with Jeff. And the idea was that...
Quick before Dr. Dashwood gets back?
Yes, because we were saying things that, like, weren't making sense, and we weren't editing it. Because there's parts of it when we're like, oh, the sirens are going off again. And we were, like, leaving these weird, subtle clues for this...
I would really like to tell our audience, to give them a place and time where this was. Yes, Welcome to Night Vale was popular at this time.
Yes,
Why do you ask? There's definitely Welcome to Night Vale DNA in this.
Oh, yeah. I was so down the rat. This is also in a time where I thought, like, podcast was the peak of internet creation, because I thought YouTube was stupid.
Yeah.
So I was like, no, audio only is the way to go. Everybody loves podcasts and podcasts alone. Now we get most of our hits on YouTube. So yeah, I desperately needed to tell that story because I've been sitting on it for so long and nobody cares, but now I've said it out loud. So that I feel a little bit better now. I think that's most of them. I'm trying to think if there's any ones that I'm missing in terms of like pilots or things we tried. Conquest we tried as a show. We did 3 episodes of Conquest.
Yeah, I think I was mostly behind the scenes for that.
Yes.
Especially the COVID era episodes.
Because the Conquest was supposed to be a collection of the games we used to play on the Plus 2 Comedy podcast. And you were the research department that I would throw to on occasion.
Yeah.
And it was 2 people competing. We did it fully online, and my computer was not strong enough to do with the things I wanted to do.
Yeah. That was another COVID era.
Yeah, so I think you can see 2 episodes of that. It was Scotty Moe versus Jeff Stormer, and Vegas versus Frank, I think, are the 2 episodes that were made. And they were both like such disasters that I canceled the next episode, which was supposed to, I believe, be Trailer Drake versus Brental Floss.
Oh, wow.
And I was like, I do not have enough self-worth in myself to fail in front of these people.
This is also
so
like...
I canceled the whole... Because there was a tournament.
And this was also like very much in that COVID time period.
Yeah. Where I was
like,
desperately trying to create something.
Where we were throwing a lot of things at the wall. Everyone was. This was also early spring 2020 still.
Yeah.
When everyone was still kind of like feeling out, trying to create content.
Yeah.
Before like burnout and depression had really fully set in for most people. Mm-hmm. Which it did.
Yeah, it was tough. It was a tough time. I guess we can also briefly talk about the episodes of Stay Doomed that never were. Because there's a few of those that are floating around.
Yeah, there's a few shows we've been meaning to cover forever.
Yes. I'm talking more about the ones that, like, were on the schedule and then taken off. Because I've said this before. The Swan has been put on the schedule so many times just to rediscover it ran 2 seasons.
Yes.
That 100% happened more than once. I know we started watching Michael and Michael Have Issues.
Yes.
Which was a Comedy Central show. And then we realized that we had to pay for the rest of them and we're like, pass.
Yeah.
So we did something else. But I know that that's a show that we, like, announced at the end, like, join us next week for Michael and Michael Have Issues. And then we just didn't do it.
What was it? Time Traveling Bong.
Time Traveling Bong was another one that was just like, I have no interest in continuing this. Despite the fact that only being 3 episodes, we got through 1. I was like, I don't want to talk about this.
Yeah, we really did not enjoy it.
And I know M is currently screaming at his device right now. But we were going to do The Quest 2. And I believe that's when we lost power.
Yeah, I think that was a very difficult time period. And
because we watched a chunk of it.
Yeah. We lost an episode. We've
lost several episodes of this show.
No, I mean, like, we recorded that. And lost power while recording it.
Is that what happened to that episode?
Yes, because that was the night the power went out while we were recording. And it went out for a while. So, like, we couldn't save it because we lost internet, we lost power.
Oh, is that when the generator went out?
Yes.
Like, we heard it go out while we were recording? That was fun.
And you were on an older computer that did not hold a charge. So as soon as the computer went,
yeah,
the computer went.
Yes. I think we almost stopped Stay Doomed that day because I was furious.
Yeah, because I remember fully, we recorded an episode of The Quest.
Yeah.
And lost it, and then the strike happened, And there was just like a lot of...
Oh yeah, the strike also happened in between it. So I remember saying that we can't post it. It was like, we watched it, we can't do it now. That's right, it was right around the strike.
I think we had recorded 1 and lost 2. Something like that. Like, I think we had thought it was going to be a 3-parter, like I think the first episode ran really long because we had to set up a lot of gameplay.
Yeah.
And we were like, okay, we might have to make the other 2 too. And then we have no idea if it would have been 2 or 3 because we lost power in the middle of 1.
Yeah. Eventually we'll do it. It's still on the list. Along with all the other things that we've promised.
I know Cop Rock is one we do perpetually mention redoing. It is hard to do a 13-hour shows are really hard and almost killed the show.
Yeah.
We started out cramming every series into a week. Mm-hmm. And that burnout was why the show only almost ran 1 season. I'm grateful that 7 years in, we are still running the show.
Yeah, absolutely.
I know that when we have more up times in our other pursuits, Stay Doomed sometimes doesn't get as much of our resources as I would like it to get. Mm-hmm. I'm not sure how to fix that.
Yeah, it's very difficult. I feel
like we've been actively playing catch up with Stay Doomed for like 3 months.
I mean, like this summer, like we announced at the beginning of June as like this is going to be a real tough summer for Stay Doomed.
Yeah.
So we made that announcement, but we're trying. Next week will probably be a pilot, and then the plan,
if we can find it.
The plan is we will do a pilot next week because next week looks like garbage for us. And then the week after that, we're going to actually do a full 1-season wonder in honor of Naked Gun. The plan is to do Police Squad.
Yes. As long as we can find it, which I'm having some difficulty finding it at the moment.
Yes, we're working on it, but we'll see what we can do.
Yes.
Thank you so much for sticking with us for 7 years.
Yeah, I mean, it's been a lot of fun. I've had this is one of my favorite things. When we do a great episode, it's a really great feeling. I am still working on the book. I am roughly 25,000 words in. I did a lot of pre-writing. So right now I am writing about vampires, so I got that going for me, which is nice.
Yeah. Also, don't we have a possibility for a guest soon? Didn't someone reach out to us about being on the show that we wanted to possibly do?
Yes.
Just teasing.
Yes, and whoever you think it is, it's not.
It's not. So we'll put it out there, and you can come talk to us on our Discord, which you can find in the links below, and let us know who you think it is. Someone from a past Stay Doomed covered episode reached out to us and was like, hey, if you ever want to talk, let me know. It's deep in the archives, gang.
I'll give you one hint. It is not a Muppet because I'm not crying.
That's a good hint. But thank you so much for watching, and thank you so much for listening for all these years. We really appreciate it.
Yeah, we're not planning on giving up the show anytime soon. We are planning to keep pursuing the show. But thanks for chatting about the projects that we forgot one.
Oh, did we forget one?
Yeah. I did a lot of pre-production on this. The What a Cartoon podcast.
Oh, yes. I'm sorry. Please talk to us about the What a Cartoon podcast.
We've done a couple of the What a Cartoons, actually, for Stay Doomed.
It became this show. Is the What a Cartoon
because we did
podcast.
Mina and the Count.
Yes.
And we did Brian and Steve.
Yes.
And I was going to go through the annual countdowns of the What a Cartoon show, the New Year's Eve countdowns that they did every year, and talk about what happened to those people, what the show was, how it did in the countdown. Did it ever go to series? Did it morph into something else, like Family Guy?
Yeah.
That was the show that later would birth this one.
Yeah, because I remember when you were kind of spitballing this. Like, you were saying, like, I really enjoy, like, these things that started to come to life, and, like, what happened to them, and was it cut short, and should it have been cut short? And that's when, like, the one season wonder thing started to kind of come into our idea and into our mind. And I was like, well, what if it's just that?
Yeah, I went through and dug out almost the entire first 4 years of What a Cartoon shows, and I had a whole spreadsheet for them, whether they were findable in 2015 when I was doing this. Both this and Talk to Your Kids About podcast are dated spring 2015, so it does take us a while to land here.
Yeah.
A lot has changed for us in the last 7 years.
Yeah, we're entirely different people.
You know, we've learned a lot. I think the tone of the podcast became a lot more appreciative and positive over time when we started to really, like, fall in love with failed media.
Yeah.
And lost media. And really, like, re-fall in love with pop culture.
Yeah, this is always meant to shine a light on a thing that didn't get a chance before. Because I will just throw this out there. One of our kind of recent episodes, I want to say it might have been this season, maybe last season, was Combination Lock, which was a game show.
Yeah.
And game shows tend to make for bad episodes of this podcast.
Yes.
Just because they're repetitive and we end up, like, talking about, like, gameplay and what it works. I like talking about, like, gameplay and game theory and things like that, but I feel like they never make for, like, is this a good TV show? And the creator of it commented on YouTube. Mm-hmm. And was like, always surprised to see someone seeing this. I worked on this. Sorry you didn't like it. And I was like, hey, do you want to, like, come on the show and talk about it? And he's like, no, you guys didn't seem to like it, so I don't want to talk to you. And I was like, that's not what the show's supposed to be. The show's kind of us, like... Granted, we said stay doomed at the end, but the show is supposed to be, like, trying desperately to find the diamond in the rough that, like, is forgotten and shouldn't be.
And the Stay Tuned, Stay Doomed, there have been shows that we have had to vote doomed that we didn't want to be doomed. We just knew that they were.
Yeah.
That's where the game over rule comes from.
Yeah.
And then there are shows that I'm like, I really liked this, but I know why it didn't work.
Yeah.
Because my taste is not actually, you know, everyone's taste. Mm-hmm. We know this because Disney would have built a fifth gate entirely revolving around the Muppets if my taste was everyone's taste.
You're very Muppet heavy today.
Today?
Yes. Today you were very Muppet heavy.
As opposed to the other days when I'm like, I don't care about
You haven't mentioned Riverdale once.
Oh, no. But yeah, Riverdale was, like, kind of newish when... I remember...
When that was the bit.
We have not brought up Riverdale every episode in a while.
Yeah.
Ah, a kid is dead, Archie.
That's your one per episode.
But yeah, I really enjoy doing this, and we're hoping to keep doing it.
Yes. Thank you to the very small, tight-knit group of people that continue to listen to this show and support it. We do it for you. Thank you so much for watching and listening. Where can people find us?
You can email us at thestaydoomedshow@gmail.com or on Blue Sky at Stay Doomed.
And if you have a guess of who randomly reached out to us here at Stay Doomed Studios, I'm at TV's Noah on Blue Sky and Instagram.
If you think you would also cry if a Muppet ever descended to speaking to you, I am Laura Crane on Blue Sky. I love the Muppets. Until next time, stay doomed.